Welcome to ERB Radio. We have the wonderful Verity White with us. How are you today?
I am apparently wonderful, so that's good to know.
I'm glad you feel wonderful. So, how has it been in the lockdown for Verity? How have you been over this time period?
Well, I would be lying if I said I'd been fantastic. It's been very up and down. You know me quite well. You know I'm quite open with my mental health and my struggles and stuff like that. I've had some really dark days. I've had to up my medication that I'm on. It's been tough, it's one of those things. But I think everyone's been struggling, and that's okay. And I think it's good to be open in a minute. But also, it's been a creative time for me too. So Alex and I, being locked at home together, have spent more time together than we have in the last, God knows how many years. But it's good. We've been able to create some stuff and work more on stuff and come up with lots of plans for what we want to do moving forward and everything. And actually that's stuff that we don't normally have time to do. So that's been really, really good. So there's been a lot of light within the darkness too.
That's good. So at least there has been some highlights for you in this time. Yeah. So obviously you've been busy in the studio, I believe, and you've got a brand new EP that's out at the moment called After the Storm. Was that written during lockdown, or was that something you had in the process beforehand?
No, that was totally written during lockdown. I spent the first few weeks feeling quite positive about lockdown, this is going to give me a bit of a break. This is really, really good. And then soon after that, I realized that I absolutely hated it. And that I really like being busy and out all over the place all the time. And the reality hit about music and gigs and all of that stuff. And then news headlines, doom scrolling and all of that. So I got into a real bad funk. So about 2 months into lockdown, I think it was, Alex sat me down and said, this weekend, you're going to write an EP of songs. And I'm not taking no for an answer. Here's GarageBand, here's the iPad, take it away, go and write some songs. I was like, okay. I thought, I'm never going to do it. But lo and behold, I did. And they were quite good.
They were brilliant. Yeah.
There was one song that we didn't put on the EP that I wrote that actually neither of us were happy with, so it didn't go anywhere. But and then we came up with the idea for doing the write a song with the fans on a live stream, which was really crazy and really fun. So that became a track that was only on the limited edition. And we were like, we're actually really proud of them. They came out really well. And yeah, Al orchestrated them really fantastically. And considering that no one else in the band was involved, normally we get our drummer up to record drums, but Alex played them all. And I think he did. I mean, I didn't play them all because I don't know if you've seen any of the clips of me drumming, but I am absolutely atrocious. But it was great. Yeah, we had a really brilliant time. And then it was just nice to have something to talk about as well. Because as a musician on social media and stuff, without having gigs and things, it's what do you talk about? It's are they going to be interested in pictures of my tomatoes? Or, I literally put a picture of my tomatoes up today, and that's not even a euphemism. But, actually, do they want to hear about stuff that's going on? So it's been a mixture of everything, but having something creative to focus on and to connect with people on has been great.
Was that all done in your new shed? I saw that you've got a new writing room that you put together over the lockdown. Was that where the EP was written?
So it's weird because Alex and I don't write in the same place at the same time. I find it really embarrassing writing in front of Alex because he's been studying music and music theory since he was a kid, and he knows so much about it that it makes me feel quite awkward and a little bit oh my God, I'm not as good as you. So I like to hide myself away in a little room somewhere. So my gin shed, as it's called, because it has a bar in there, nothing fancy, just a wooden bar with glasses and stuff hanging with lots and lots of different types of gin, just to help me be inspired. And so I'll go out to the gin shed and kind of get an idea of some chord structures and get an idea of what kind of melody might be happening and get some lyrics together and stuff. And then I literally send the file to Alex. I don't sit there and listen to it with him. I'm I don't want to see your face when you listen to this. I'm too frightened. And then I kind of go into his studio, put my head around the door about 10 minutes later, was that all right? He's oh, that's really good. I like this bit. I like that bit. And then he'll give me constructive feedback, which is always really useful. But sometimes I'm really good and I get them good from the word go.
Yeah, is that because how's your process for writing songs? Is it the lyrics and the first, or is it the chords? Do you sit down and play and strum and come up with something, or what's the normal process for Verity White?
It's definitely chords first. I've got so many things going around in my head about how I'm thinking, how I'm feeling and what's going on, that I don't actually find words. Normally, there are some songs that I struggle with, but I normally don't find words too difficult. because I've got a lot to say and I don't shut up. But I it's normally chords and structures, and then like sort of humming, what could this be, what could this do, and actually then once I've got kind of an idea of what the pattern might be doing vocally, then I'll be like, okay, what does make, and sometimes I'm not even conscious of thinking what does this make me feel, just words just happen like straight away, like even without the melody and the words just come out at the same time, and I don't even know where that comes from. That's just magic. I know, it's amazing. It's like this magical cloud. And sometimes I'll get kind of an idea for a melody, and then I'll be like, oh, I don't know, what does this make me feel, and I'll have to kind of sit down and listen to it a few times before something then hits, and then I'm like, oh, here come the words. So it's always a bit different, but it does always start with like that musical chord structure really, and the idea of that then leading where it goes.
That's very similar to what we do. We find that it's the mood of the music that makes the lyrics come to life, isn't it? And that's what's right. I'm sure people write in different ways, but certainly it's the same experience for what I've gone through. So I totally get where you're coming from with that on that. And during the lockdown, we've enjoyed on a Monday your Instagram feeds that have been absolutely brilliant. Some of the themes you come up with, some of the costumes that you've done has been fantastic. So is that something that just naturally happened, or did you think about it and then all week and then come up with something?
So we'd been thinking before lockdown even was a thing that we were going to be doing a regular video slot, that we wanted to do one, because I'm really lively anyway, and Alex is really, really fun and funny, but no one had really got to know him because I obviously do all the social media because it's kind of my band and everything, so it's always me talking. And I was like, Alex is half of the band really for me. Like, he writes so much and he does so much that I was like, let's do some live streaming. And Alex was like, we need to do it every week. We've got to be. And I was like, okay. We'll do it every week. And we started doing it about 3 weeks before lockdown started. And then lockdown came. And then obviously everybody started doing it. We were like, oh no, it's gone now. Everyone's going to be really bored. But now as lockdown's lifting, people aren't doing it so much anymore. But we're carrying on because what we found is we've got a really lovely community of people who genuinely love it. They don't know what's going to happen. They might turn up and Alex and I are, just strumming an acoustic guitar and doing something really chilled, or they might turn up and we're doing a piano performance, or it might be a full rock band kind of thing. And as you said, there's been various different outfits throughout the thing. My favorite one was the one where I did all of the makeup like I was in the musical Cats. That was particularly awesome. I was very proud of that makeup. And also unicorn outfits and things like that. But pajama parties, yeah. If anyone's got any ideas for themes, I am all over it. I love dressing up.
I love that cat one, the theme from Cats, because all I saw was you coming up in the like meowing in the beginning. So yeah, so it was fantastic. It was really, really good. So obviously, how has from the launch of the EP of After the Storm, how has it gone? How's the how have people reacted to it? Has it been positive? Are you getting any good feedbacks and things like that?
Everyone hates it. No, it's been great. No, it's been really good, actually. It's always terrifying. You know this. It's terrifying when you put music out there because you are putting your soul on a plate. And if people don't like it, it really hurts. And you do have to learn to try and take everything with a pinch of salt and try and find like a positive thing in it, and like realize what it is that they're saying, and actually if there's something constructive that they're saying, then great. Some people just are haters and you've got to ignore them, but there are some people that actually you can see there is something constructive in what they're saying, and actually it can be quite interesting to take that on board. But mostly it's been really good feedback. The reviews have been great. We've got plays on Planet Rock, we've had interview on BBC Radio and plays on BBC, so it's been like, what, which is crazy because it kind of came from this place of me feeling really unsure about, like, I don't know what I'm doing, and now suddenly it's like everyone's like, this is your best work yet. So I'm like, oh, okay. So it's been awesome. Yeah,
I saw that you had the on BBC. It was a radio interview, was it, or was it on the BBC? Yeah.
And played some of our songs, and it was just like, I don't know why you want to talk to me, but okay, thanks.
So obviously now that we're coming to the point of hopefully coming out of this lockdown a little bit more, and gigs are starting to come out. So what's the one that you're planning next? What's the first gig that Verity is going to be doing if it comes about?
Well, I've just heard that the gig we had on October the 9th has been moved to May next year. So so that's supporting friend of ours, Jack J. Hutchinson, who's been doing really well through lockdown as well, actually doing lots of streaming too. So he's a total edge. We really love him. Can't wait for that one. Shame we got to wait so long. We had another one in November that got postponed as well. So I think the only one that we've got left in our diary for this year is the WDFD Records Turn It Up Festival, which is literally a few days before Christmas. I think it's like the 19th of December at the station in Cannock. And that's featuring all of the bands that are signed to WDFD with ourselves. So us, Thea, White Raven Down, all of the guys. It's going to be such a party if it happens, because we've all been itching to do gigs. I don't want to sound like a negative Nelly, which is like such a bad praise. Oh my God, I sound like a right dude. But I don't know whether it will go ahead or not. I think we're all just waiting to find out. Kyle, the lead singer of Thea, is diabetic. There's a lot of people in there that have got issues. I've got lung problems. I've got to be really, really careful. So we'll wait and see. I think a decision will be made at some point, probably in November. We really want it to happen. All of us are desperate to gig, but I only want to gig, and I know everyone else on the label only wants to gig if it's safe for everybody that comes to the Arts. We don't want to be the gig that causes people to die. You just don't want to be that gig.
Yeah. No,
all of us are far too socially responsible for that, and it's just, yeah. So if it's not that one, then we've got a gig in January.
21. I think everyone's looking for that, aren't they? That's it. That's when it's going to be.
Yeah, we've got one with She Burns Red and the Big Dirty in January, so that'll be such a laugh, and probably quite a lot of trouble. But really, and then we've got hopefully we've got HRH Spring Break as well coming up next year. But it's all just a case of we just don't know what's happening. So I've not been booking anything in because I don't want to book anything and then have to postpone it, because as you know, booking tours and booking gigs takes a lot of time and effort, and to then have to rearrange it all, it's a nightmare. So I'd rather just wait and then see what's out there, see what, it sounds horrible, but see what venues are left. Yes, and see, see if anyone's got gaps. And if they don't, we'll keep doing online stuff. We are planning to do a full band online stream with everybody and lights and stuff once we can find a venue that can accommodate us locally. So yeah, we've got plans, but it's more for us now about writing loads of stuff, getting lots of ideas in the bank and stuff, and just keep creating.
I think that's what certainly from the bands I've spoken to and interviewed, that there's been a lot of people that struggle during this lockdown, but they're all that creative edge. And I've just got this feeling that the music that's going to come out in next year, we're starting to see it feed in now, but once all of the bands get together and they start putting the music together, we are going to have some stunning stuff for next year. And I think you've hit it right on the nail on the head. Anyone who is in that is really itching to actually get that creative juices going, keep it going. And so we're looking forward to that.
We've just got to keep going, really, and that's what we're doing, and keep creating and keep being there and like being there for all of the people that love music and that want to listen to stuff and want to have something to make themselves feel better too.
We're part of Emerging Rock Bands, ERB. How was, and obviously that has a Facebook side to it and a social side. How has that been to support Verity? Have you found it very useful to have that social media outlet of bands and fans to talk to? Has that been good for you?
Yeah, it's great. What I really like about ERB, and some of the other pages as well that we're a part of, is that mixture of bands and fans that are on there. Because for me, it's really nice just to get to know other musicians as well as getting to know fans. And as musicians, we're all fans of music as well. So just because someone's a musician in a band doesn't mean they're not going to like your band. So actually, everyone is a potential. Oh my God, this was so lame again. Everyone is a potential fan. But yeah. I just like, you know me, I'm really chatty. I like getting to know people. I like making friends, and it's great. It's a really nice collaborative community, and that's really cool. Very positive. Yeah.
You can point me in as a fan, so there we go. That proves a point. So obviously, you've just released the EP. Is there an album in the future possibly, or you planning something on that line, or more singles that are coming out from Verity?
About 4 or 5 songs in the bank at the moment that no one's heard yet, not including the shit one that isn't being released ever. So we are working on those. Our drummer's hurt his hand, so we were going to go and like actually get him to drum on them and then do another EP, but now we're not sure because we don't know how long it's going to take for him to get it fixed. So yeah, we're just kind of like feeling our way around it. We've got an EP's worth of songs basically ready to go, and then Alex and I are just trying to work out whether we're going to do that next, whether we're going to do some of our fans asked for a piano EP after hearing our piano stuff that we did on a live stream, so we probably do that as well at some point. And yeah, there will be another album, but I don't want to do the album until I know that Alex Mack, our drummer, can drum on it. Really, I want him to be, have that creative input to it. But yeah, there's loads of stuff in the works basically. It's just when we release them is all down to like, I don't know, where the wind takes us, I suppose.
Well, thank you very much for being on Emerging Rock Bands Radio. We love having you on as part of our team here, and so congratulations for all the music you've done. And we really hope After the Storm takes it to the storm, if you see what I mean. But so thank you very much, Verity White, and we're going to play your song now. So thank you.
Thank you.